The back to Jeff Green. Let's take another look at it. It's all about vision, man. We're locked up in a tight one against the Magic here. Let's keep it in the second quarter. Harden, he had 2 steals in the second quarter. Here's one of them. You better run. Runs the floor. Joe Harris. Hey, Joe! And then Harden drives and, listen, better find the dude who butters the bread, and that's that dude right there, Kevin Durant. He had 16 in the first half. Nets up 7. Harden running the floor. Green. Harden looked in fine shape. Take another look. And our analysts say, hey, listen, his assists are going to go up. His points are going to go down. Harden, 8.7 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 turnovers in the first half. The Nets are up 2. Let's go to the third quarter. How about a highlight that's Harden-free? It's Kevin Durant throwing it down. Back to Harden. Dribble. Step back, Bobby Jack. 3 of 10 from 3. The Nets up 3 after 3. Let's go fourth quarter. Still tight. All right, Harden drives. I mean, listen, he garners attention. He's a great player. He's an 8-time All-Star. He's got a couple gold medals, 3-time scoring champion. And that's what happens. Durant, 42. Harden, triple-double, 32 points, 12 rebounds, 14 assists. He was 1 turnover away from a quadruple dubious. The Nets win, 122-115.
It felt unbelievable. I hope you can tell by my smile and my play. Whoever has a hot hand, that's who deserves the ball. You know, the basketball finds energy. It finds people that have good energy, good spirit. So that's what I try to bring to the game tonight. I'm so excited for Kai to get back. You know, he's a key piece to what we're trying to do. And the chemistry, as soon as we can build that, as soon as we can be on the court together, it's going to be scary hours.
Hey, man, it was scary here. It was historic. Most points scored and assisted in a team debut in NBA history. Just last season, Kyrie Irving created 67 points, 50 of which he scored in his debut with the Nets. Harden scored or assisted on 64 points in his debut with the Rockets back in 2012. He had 37 points, 12 assists in a win against the Pistons. And then in his Nets debut, Harden scored or assisted on 63 points, 3rd most all-time. He becomes the first player in NBA history with a 30-point.
Pacers received Karis LeVert and a 2nd-round pick in 2023. And the Brooklyn Nets obviously get James Harden. What are your thoughts on this finally going down? We all knew it was coming.
Yeah, I'm glad it happened. So, guys like Boogie and John Wall can have a respectable season, have a respectable teammate, and also James can get somewhere he want to play. I know he will. Everybody's saying he needs a championship to fulfill his career, and I think going to Brooklyn gives him a great chance. And I like it. It's good for basketball. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for KD and Kyrie because this is a good look for him, especially in the East.
There's never been an issue with James playing. I think obviously this year took on a life of its own. He had his mind made up in the summertime or maybe last year that he wasn't coming back. And I just kind of think the way he handled it possibly could have been different. But at the end of the day, when James wants to play and he's ready, he's one of the best players we've ever seen. So I think he'll be happy in Brooklyn. What does this do with the Kyrie factor now? To me, I kind of thought it was almost an insurance policy. Kyrie's still up in the air. We don't really know what's going on with him. We saw what Stephen A. Smith said yesterday, thinking that, if Kyrie wants to step away, he should retire and do what he needs to do. You and I talked yesterday a little bit, and I kind of brought up the Maya Moore situation. You've spoken to Kyrie. Like I said, social justice is on his mind. There's a lot on his mind, and I completely understand that. Similar to what Maya Moore did. Maya Moore is arguably one of the best players in the WNBA, stepped away, handled her business in the social justice field, and I think she'll be returning to basketball soon. What are your thoughts with, first, the dynamic of Kyrie returning, and then if he does possibly return, how good could this big three be?
I definitely think he will return soon. A lot of people think that what's going on in the world today is more important than anything, especially a sport. So at some form, I get it. But me, as being a guy who was known as the ultimate teammate, you never leave your teammates. with where you are with them up in the air. And I don't think that's the situation. You know, I know he communicates with his guys, but I think he'll be back. And the dynamic I have in them three guys, I mean, it has to scare everybody in the league because, you know, if these guys can come together, put the right guys on the bench to come in and do the dirty work, man, these guys can definitely come out the East. But I know the NBA is looking like, oh, man, it's another three-headed monster we got to deal with.
Well, this is trouble, and I say this as respectffully as possible. I've never imagined Kyrie as a third option. Can you imagine your third option being that fucking good? Like, it's incredible the talent that team has now. Do you think that Brooklyn gave up too much?
Nah, anytime you got a chance to put James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving together, and all them guys wanting to play together, you have to do it. I don't care who's on the bench. I don't care if you had, you know, some All-Stars, some Hall of Famers. All those guys got to go to pad these three together.
Gotcha. Well, we'll be looking out for them. I still think they're favored in the East, obviously more than ever now. We're all awaiting Kyrie's return to see what this three-headed monster will look like. Next up, Houston Rockets. I completely understand the frustration coming from that locker room. You know, obviously in the locker room, the goal should be winning, and anything that distracts that is obviously a distraction. We heard John Wall speak. We heard DeMarcus being as blunt as he possibly could. We heard Chris Wood speak. What do you feel like the attitude and mood in that locker room is right now?
Well, I mean, like I said, us being players, I see it from both sides. They have the right to be upset. And they have a right to say the things they said. You know, like Boogie said, the disrespect started way before that interview. You know what I mean? Not showing up, you know what I'm saying? Looking like you not want to play. The disrespect had been started. So, you know, they was waiting for a day where they'll have 15 guys in the locker room that all want to be there and all on the same page. And I understand it with James too. I mean, once he said on that news conference that it's a relationship that can't be repaired, then, you know what I'm saying, I respect him for going somewhere where he want to win a championship because that's the only thing that's missing from his career.
There's never been an issue with Harden going out there performing. Obviously, his mind was made up, and we didn't see the best James. We saw a lot of shenanigans going into training camp. He comes into camp, the heavyweight champion of the world, looking like, and just not performing. You know, at 17 points a game, I think he was leading the league in assists at 11, though. But you can tell we've been amazed by him the last handful of years, and we know when he wants to play and he doesn't want to play. And I think the energy was felt by his teammates. You know, it's like I said, everyone was well within their right to speak their mind because at the end of the day, James is a superstar, but there's a whole other locker room that makes him go and makes that team go. So these guys were tired of the bullshit, and I'm sure they're happy he's gone. And then on the flip side, you're receiving Victor Oladipo, someone who's on an expiring contract, but someone who plays his ass off, doesn't do much talking, just goes out there and hoops. I think he's going to fit in great with Wall and Wood and DeMarcus coming back, PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon. So now they kind of have, you know, what they're moving forward with. I wouldn't be surprised if they made some trades at the deadline, but along with who they picked up, and they also got 8 picks in the draft. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think Houston's going to be sitting in good. You know, I mean, it kind of reminds me of what the Nets did a handful of years ago with KG and Paul Pierce. They went all in with all their picks. Nothing turned up that time. What will turn up this time? So, like I said, I think the Nets are happy. I'm sure they're obviously waiting Kyrie's decision or situation to get him back in the fold. I know Houston's happy just to move forward, and it's going to be some fun basketball. But I also think what these moves did is they put pressure on the Eastern Conference. They put pressure on that Eastern Conference going into the trade deadline that guys got to make moves. You know, if I'm Philly, if I'm Milwaukee, if I'm Miami, if I'm Toronto, I'm trying to get Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal is someone who's been playing his heart out, hottest player in the world, and he's not doing nothing with Washington. I kind of just think he's wasting all his best years there. So Bradley Beal is a great two-way player that really, by the move the Nets made, kind of pushed the ante up in the Eastern Conference to kind of make some other moves. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Let's not forget Karis LeVert moves to the Pacers, a blue-collar team that I think is right in the mix right now in that 4th position in the East, someone who just dropped 40 the other day, a very solid, no-nonsense type player. I think that's a nice pickup for Indiana, Jack.
Yeah, real solid. You could drop 40 with KD on the court. Now you got your own team. Indiana's a solid team. I don't have them being – in the top 5 or 6 teams at the end of the season. They're gonna squeeze. They might have a chance to squeeze in the playoffs, but having him going to Indiana and just being able to rock and be an offensive player like he can be, is going to be a good look for him.
Absolutely. Going to get plenty of shots over there. The Cavs. So the Cavs picked up Jared Allen to add to their ever list of centers. They got 5 people on as centers right now. JaVale McGee, Kevin Love, Drummond, Allen, and Larry Nance Jr. What I think this move does is allows them to trade Kevin Love now. I think Kevin Love will probably be gone before the deadline. He's tired of being in a dead-end team. His career is, he's on the backside of his career, but I still think a healthy Kevin Love can help any contender. So I think what that move does is definitely frees up Kevin Love, but who really knows what they're trying to do with all those centers over there right now. At the end of the day, Jack, who do you feel won this trade?
Man, Brooklyn won this trade by far. You talking about Kevin Love. Slide Kevin Love to Brooklyn for a little change. Hey, but Brooklyn definitely won this trade, man. Anytime you can get James Harden, one of the best scorers of all time, I mean, you win this trade. I don't care what you have to give up. You win, hands down.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think the world is excited about the possibility of this new big three. Arguably, we've never seen a scoring combo. I mean, we saw it in Golden State, but this may be another level of that. We've never seen a scoring trio of this caliber. So I'm definitely excited to see what Brooklyn does. And it just makes, it strengthens our position at the beginning of the season. We both had
getting to know you. What did you, though, learn about your teammates tonight?
We have some special talent in his locker room. Very versatile shooters, playmakers, defenders, a little bit of everything. And that's what you're going to need, especially when it comes postseason. Obviously, we haven't built as much chemistry as we would like. But that first game, it felt good to be out there on the court and just, giving guys confidence, giving guys energy. And that's what it's going to take throughout the course of the year. And once you build that up and guys believe in each other, then it's pretty scary.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Hey, James, I'm wondering if there was any sense of this was like riding a bike, getting back out with Kevin Durant.
I'm a hooper, so I just, like I said, I'm very unselfish. I'm willing to just do whatever it takes to win, and obviously KD is just a elite, like just different type of basketball player as far as the way he's able to score the basketball. It's so easy for him, and I know that. So I just want to make it a little bit more easier if I can. And then, for the rest of the teammates, our shooters and our bigs, make it easier for them. So, yeah, it was pretty easy out there.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
James, yesterday you said when you were asked what talent do you need to improve or emphasize or whatever, you said playmaking. And it seemed like that's what you were concentrating on tonight. You got everybody's shots, you distributed the ball, you moved it quickly, and then when you had to, you turned it on offensively. So can you say, is that, do you expect that to be your approach going forward, especially when they add Kyrie Irving to the mix?
For me, I'm just, I have so many dimensions to my game. I just take whatever the defense gives me. I play the game the right way, or at least I try to every possession, and just takes whatever the defense is giving me. And like I say, whoever has a hot hand, that's who deserves the ball. The basketball finds energy. It finds people that have good energy, good spirit. So that's what I try to bring to the game tonight.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, James. It's hard to get in somebody else's head, but I mean, you made it pretty clear that you wanted to be in Brooklyn, and at least it seemed like you were really enjoying yourself out there tonight. I'm just curious, now that the game's over, I mean, did it feel like what you expected, and how did it feel? How would you describe it?
It felt unbelievable. I mean, I hope you can tell by my smile and my play. Just excited and for the opportunity. This is an unbelievable organization from top to bottom. And, for me, all I have to do is just go out there and be the best, James Harden I can be. And, good things will happen.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, James, one thing about you and Kyrie and KD as it pertains to you guys' offensive talent is that you guys can kind of tell what the defense is going to do before they do it. How do you think that is going to help guys like Joe, guys like DeAndre, when the defense can't really help off of, we saw today, defense can't help off of Joe. He's going to hit a three. Defense can't help off of the guy down low. You got to throw the lob up top. How does that make this team better, that you guys all know what the defense is going to do and they can't really double you?
Once we go through every scenario, and it's only maybe 4 or 5 that teams can really do against us, and throughout the course of the year that's going to happen, once we figure out, okay, they're doing this tonight, this is how we attack it, or they're doing this tonight, this is how we attack it. Once we get that, it's basically up to us. And I'm so excited for Kai to get back. He's a key piece to what we're trying to do. And the chemistry, as soon as we can build that, as soon as we can be on the court together, it's going to be scary hours.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, James. Joe and Kevin were kind of saying how, early on everyone was maybe a little too pass happy and not taking contact. It's just what point in the game did you kind of start to feel you got into a rhythm and got comfortable?
I mean, I had, 9 turnovers throughout the game, and maybe 6 or 7 of them were to, looking to get guys, and DeAndre get them lobs. That's me being unselfish. That's me trying to get guys involved. But at the end of the day, I just still got to be a player at the end of the day and score when I need to score, and when the pass is there, do it. So first game, I'm happy to get it out the way. Now we can watch some film and get ready for our next opponent.
Brian Mahoney with the Associated Press.
Hey, James, how did your preparation today? Did you know for sure you'd get to play, or if not, when did you find out? And, without not knowing many of the kind of plays and things like that, is it almost more fun that you get to figure it out yourself a little bit more as opposed to kind of having things scripted?
I mean, I have, had multiple conversations with our coaching staff on what we're trying to accomplish on both ends of the ball. So pretty much I'm familiar with it, and I know, where spots where to put our players in. And then it makes it easier when you have Kevin Durant on your team who can take some of the pressure off of you as well. So, like I said, it's a long way to go. It's a process, but I think just watching film, getting better, learning where guys like to be. We have some unbelievable shooters, trying to get them more shots so they can feel more involved in the offense, getting our bigs more, paint points, and just kind of directing people and guiding people to where they should be so they can be more effective. I think once that happens, our team will be a lot better.
Ian Begley with SNY.
James, it's not a basketball question, but could you share anything about what you had to give Landry Shamet for number 13?
I'm sure he'll post it when I give it to him. Nah, that's big time though. For him to sacrifice that, I got to make sure I get him something.
And last question, Jen Williams with Fox 5 New York.
Hey James, you said you came to Brooklyn to play for a contender. I know it's just the first game, but keeping that in mind, how are you feeling about that decision after the first game?
It felt great. I mean, even from when I stepped foot into the building, it was open arms, and like I said, it's anything I need, they're there for me. They're making sure I'm getting my work in, making sure that everything is laid. So all I got to do is go out there and just be me. For me, in return, I got to make sure everybody is feeding off that. And tonight was a really good start. Hopefully, next game we have Kai back and just keep this thing rolling.
James Harden, Kevin Durant combined 74 points this evening, most ever in a game as teammates. Played 3 years together in OKC, had not played together since 2012. Time to hear from Kevin Durant.
Kevin, I know you know his game well, but just your assessment of James Harden in his debut, his first game with the team, and how he looked.
Man, it was incredible. You could see him trying to figure out the best way to play early on. I felt like we all were overpassing, trying to make everybody comfortable, and then he just got into his mode of being aggressive to score, and that opened up the whole game for all of us. So, glad he got his feet up under him, and he's got to keep plugging away, keep getting better each day.
Was there an increased, I know he's new, and of course you're going to do a lot of talking there, but kind of increased communication across the board with the team so that you guys are locked in at the task at hand? Yeah,
I mean, you got James, myself, Jeff, DJ out there, Joe, guys who've been in the league for a while. I think all of us, on the same page and communicating what we need from each other on the defensive side of the ball, especially on offense. I think we were moving and flowing a little bit on offense, based off our communication. We didn't have a play coming across half and guys were talking guys through actions, and Same on the defensive side of the ball. So we're only going to get better at that, and it's going to take some time for us to build up that consistency of how we want to play on both ends. But it was a good step.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
KD, during his introductory press conference, James was asked what part of his game he needed to improve or emphasize or whatever. He said playmaking. And he in Houston, he kind of pounded the ball. But tonight, he moved the ball. And there were moments where when you and he and Harris were moving the ball, the defense was paralyzed. What do you think this kind of debut does for him? What message does it send in terms of sacrifice and how he's willing to play and yet be able to still step up and score?
Yeah, I mean, James, he played the same way he always played, to be honest. I mean, he played the same way he was playing in Houston, handling the basketball, being a pass-first guard, trying to get his guys good looks. He played the same way. And, Coach put him at the point. I think that's his natural position, to be honest, his point and, off guard, combo guard. And, for him to come out and get 14 assists, 12 rebounds for us at the point guard was key.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Kevin, you and James have, 7 scoring titles between you, and Kai probably hit the most iconic shot in the last 10 years. I mean, when you have 3 guys that are so accustomed to leading teams, getting late buckets, big shots, what's the biggest key to making sure that all 3 of you can be as good or as dominant as you're accustomed to being, but still keep the main thing?
Well, understand there's more than just us 3 on this basketball team. We going to need Joe Harris to continue to knock down shots, TLC. We'll need DeAndre to roll to the rim hard, and our bigs to come in and help set screens and rebound. And so I think it's a group effort, and that's going to open up the floor for all of us. And it's having high IQ guys who are unselfish, who want to make the extra passes. We'll see how it plays out. Each game is different. I think we want to approach each game with that attitude of just all of us being who we are and being aggressive, but being on one string, and we'll see how it goes.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Kevin, obviously you and James have kept in touch and worked out together over the years, but it's been a while since you two were in an official NBA game together. Does the rapport you two have with each other kind of translate pretty quickly, given your ties, or did it take a couple of sessions for that to really get in a full swing?
No, I mean, like I said, having veteran guys and being in the league for so long, you didn't worked on so many different schemes and offensive actions. You kind of know how to play the game. And, it's not just me and James. Jeff's the same way. DJ's the same way. Kyrie's the same way. Guys that have been in the league for almost 10-plus years where, we could just sometimes we don't even have to speak to know what we're thinking. And, guys are, just understand each other. And we've been studying each other for so long, scouting each other for so long. So that IQ is just there. It's only going to get better.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Hey, Kevin, you had 42 tonight. At what point did you feel like, yeah, all right, I've got this. I've found my rhythm here after getting off to a little bit of an up and down start really early on?
Yeah, I mean, missing shots I felt like I got to my spots. I think it was a matter of time before I started to knock them down, and I got some great screens tonight from DJ and the bigs, and James set me up nice, and my teammates set me up nice. But I just felt comfortable, and I'm getting better, getting more comfortable each game, and hopefully it continues.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Kevin, obviously you and James and Kyrie can score, but another part of you guys' games is that you guys are high IQ, and you kind of can tell what a defense is going to do before they do it. How do you think that is going to help guys like Joe, guys like DeAndre out there when the defense really can't afford to double because either it's going to be a lob or Joe's going to be open for a 3?
Yeah, I can't wait till we have our full team together and seeing where we can create shots for shooters, seeing how we can get our bigs some easy points in the paint. But it's going to be tough for anybody to double us, especially out at the 3-point line. And teams may trap us in their pick and roll, but we got guys that can make good plays on that back end. But you're gonna get your best shot from everybody. Like tonight, these guys felt like they didn't miss a shot in the second half. So we're gonna get the best shot from everybody. But it's about us every single night, and how we can continue to just keep putting out good energy on both ends of the floor.
Jen Williams with Fox 5 New York.
Hey, Kevin, did you get a chance to talk with James after the game, and what was that conversation like?
No, it was just good win, good game. Let's get back to practice tomorrow and see how we can get better and learn from tonight. We had 15 turnovers between us too, and that's terrible. And we had 19 as a team, so that says our teammates kept the ball in their hands. We got to be better. So, I probably should go talk to him about that right now.
And last question, Brian Mahoney with the Associated Press.
Hey, Kevin, it's 10 games for you now. Your average is up over 30 points. I know you said you didn't have any expectations for how this would go, but as you evaluate it now, how do you explain being this good this fast after that kind of layoff you had?
Well, I got a long ways to go, and I got a good staff, teammates, training staff that put me in position every day to go out there and be the best that I can be. So it's 10 games in. We got 60.